What is your biggest struggle right now? How can I help you with that?
Yes. So my biggest struggle, so I'm trying to, so I'm a physician, I'm a family medicine physician, and I have ADHD, and I've started coaching physicians and medical students with ADHD aside from my job. And in January coming up, I am going to have a retreat in 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 Puerto Rico, and I'm trying to decide of all the things like where do I have it? Like, do I have it in Old San Juan, or do I have it just somewhere at the beach? And of course, I know those are little things, but I keep going back and forth between wanting to please my clients and then just wanting to just make a decision and stop messing around so that I can tell people, right?
Right.
And so I'm in indulgence mode right now.
What does that mean?
Um, Looking at all the hotels and like doing the research, and that's what I mean by like choosing to be confused, I guess.
Yeah. So
Not
you're,
just
you're
going forward.
indulging in the indecision.
Yes.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. Okay. Well, let me ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
Where do you want to have it?
Well, I go back and forth. Like, a part of me is like, of course, it has to be in Old San Juan because it's so pretty and all the colorful stuff. And if people want to walk around, I don't have to be worried that, they need to find a taxi or whatever. And then there's a cool salsa place that we could walk around, or get a cab easily in the city. And so that's where I go to. But then a part of me also goes to like, well, what if people don't want to go to salsa dancing? Or what if people don't want to walk around? What if people just want to be at the beach at a beautiful resort? And so that's why I keep fighting back and forth, because I think I personally would gladly be at either of the places and would make either of the places be amazing, and it wouldn't be a thing. But I know that at the end of the day, that if people are going to come, they're going to come because I'm there, not because, or maybe because of the environment, I don't know. But so that's where I'm at. I go back and forth, and I'm like, well, a beach could be a beach anywhere, but this is Old San Juan. Like, they're not going to see this city like this. And then I'm also at, well, people can just get on a cab and go. Why are you making a big deal? If they want to go see it, they can go.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so that's where I'm at.
Yeah. What is the theme of your retreat? Like, what's the basic theme?
Yes. So I've coached 40 clients in this last year. Most of them, maybe 90% of them, have been physicians. And the theme is going to be, and it's going to be it's going to be for physicians. ADHD is going to be the topic. So I want them to come and develop new skills, or set up aligned systems to their values so that they can support themselves. And what I mean by that, most of us like always feel like we're not good enough, or we're just barely surviving. I want them to come and feel like they can hit reset and on purpose decide what they want to put back into their plate or into their schedule, and what they want to take out, so that they don't feel like they're overwhelmed.
So are these doctors that you're coaching, do they struggle with ADHD? Is that why they're coming to you for help?
Yes.
So the overall problem that you solve is I give you tools to work with your ADHD in your business. Is that?
So yes. So my little, I guess, selling point would be, I help you set up systems to support your zone of genius so that you can reclaim your freedom of time.
Okay. So what do your clients, your best clients, what do they do on their downtime when they're not learning how to be better doctors?
That's the thing. They never have downtime, and that's why they're so burned out. And that's why I'm
Okay.
trying to teach them about self-care and trying to teach them to get back to exercising and sleeping and on purpose choosing to say no to things that don't align with them so that they say yes to things that do and not feel guilty, for the basic things, right? And so I teach them how to prioritize their time, how to show up for themselves.
Right. Right. And this is another way you're allowing them to do that, right? In real time. You're showing
Yes,
up for yourself by saying yes to this event, this retreat,
yes.
right? And so what I want you to think about is, what do you think would be the best thing for them on their downtime? Because they never get any,
Right.
right? Because when people come to work with us, it's like they're looking for guidance on, okay, now what do we do when we're, not when we're burnt out but we don't want to be? What do we do?
Yeah.
Right. And what you're describing to me is two very different environments for that.
Yeah.
And the environment, as you know, is so important to how the information that you're teaching them
Hmm.
gets heard and understood and ultimately integrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
So probably at the beach somewhere beautiful where they remember to slow down and just explore the water and the waves would probably be more ideal. And if they decided, or if I decided, hey, on this day, we're gonna all go downtown, welcome to join if you like or not, that's an option. I think that would satisfy my sense of adventure that I love to have and and give an invitation to them. But
Right.
at the same time, no obligation to putting them where I want to be per se.
Right. Right. Because what you're doing is you're giving them what they need,
Yeah.
and you're also getting what you want at the same time,
Yeah.
without having to worry about, do I need to make sure you get a taxi and you get a taxi and you go there and you go there, and do you like salsa dancing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it could, like you say, just be a very easy, hey, I've orchestrated this night where we all get to go. If you want to join us, let me know. And right, you go from there with the details.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I want to point out is that decision took us 10 minutes.
Wow, that was quick. I've been sitting on this for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what have you been doing? What do you think? Let me ask you it this way. What do you think sitting on that decision and actually not making it has cost you?
What has it cost me? Well, a lot of self-doubt for sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of questioning myself. Yeah, and just time and indulgence, like I said, and indecision. I know
Yeah.
decisions move you forward, and I know that if it's not the right one, you make another. But and I've been talking to one of my friends who's helping me negotiate the price or whatever. And I gave her, three different ones, but two out of the three were at the beach. So probably that should be the cue that I was leaning more towards the beach.
Yeah, because what's interesting is you're a sacral generator, and there should never be an indulging in indecision, right?
In
You know
general.
that. You know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's a yes or a no. So I'm wondering where else in your life that you're doing this.
Where else? I mean, probably with everything. I mean, I keep going back and forth. Like right now, my program is working very well. Me selling my course for 3 months, and I keep thinking in my head, well, what if it was 6 months? Or like, What about 3 versus 6? 3 versus 6. I haven't jumped to 6 because then I question myself, well, why do you want 6? Is it only because maybe 10% of the people that you're currently working with you said that they didn't get what they felt they wanted to? And so you're trying to please the few versus the 90% said that it was amazing and they're not saying anything. And I guess my brain just is normal to go to like, well, what if I made it 100% inclusive for everybody?
Right.
And yeah,
Right. And because what's happening is what's normal for you, what you're tolerating.
yeah,
I want to make that clear. You're tolerating at a conscious and subconscious level, indecision. And so you're not giving your sacral its job. You're not allowing it to do its job. So how familiar are you with how your sacral feels?
I'm not sure if I'm familiar with it. I mean, I've been working to try to understand myself more through journaling and stuff. I think as physicians, we've been taught to like kind of numb emotions out
Mm-hmm.
and to try to like just like always be professional and like, you know, don't think about yourself. Although obviously I've been trying to unlearn that because that has not been helpful. I mean, maybe it got me here, but not to where I'm going. I don't want to burn out.
Yeah. So what you're doing is you're allowing your decisions and your underlying frequency to be, I'm afraid I'm going to burn out. So I'm just not going to make a lot of decisions. So
Yeah.
I'm going to spend my time, my precious time and energy in indecision. And what it's doing is it's costing you alignment.
Which is the opposite of what I want.
Right. Right. Yeah. Or else you wouldn't be on this call for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what I'm feeling called to really stress to you is you intuitively know the right decision, and it's time to stop indulging in indecision and let your sacral do its job.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. How do I tune into that?
Right. So I don't ever assume anyone's how long they've been on the human design journey and their experiment with it, but your spleen and your sacral are pretty lit up. They're your only two centers defined. So it makes sense to me that what you've been doing, because you've seen your body graph, right? You've seen that everything else is not defined. There's not a lot of color, right?
Yeah.
And what that is you're allowing all of that to run your life. No wonder you're in indecision. No wonder you're checking with other people. No wonder you're worrying about people pleasing, because you've allowed the open centers of your design to run the show. And on all those ways. So head, all of them, voice, direction, where am I going? What do I want? Emotional energy, adrenaline energy, all of it has been, I'm relying on other people to give me the energy, because I don't know how to figure out what mine is separate from anybody else. And what I teach everybody is you have to go to your defined centers first to learn who you are, because by doing that, you learn who you're not. And you're not the energy of other people. You're your energy. You're you. And so the way that you get in touch with the sacral and create a relationship with your spleen is you introduce yourself and you're like, hey, I'm here. And I know that you guys are trying to communicate with me and I haven't been listening. So kind of shaky. I don't really know how this whole build a relationship with you goes, but I'm going to take time every morning to ask you to wake up for me and to give me bodily cues of what does that feel like when my spleen and sacral are working? What does it feel like? Oh, I felt a little enthusiasm. I felt a little buzz, a little pull, or some people tell me they actually get like that gut hit. Like it feels like in their gut, it's a yes or a pull. And I mean, I just say in the beginning, you just want to open the door. Because it's one thing to learn all this stuff, Diana. It's one thing to go, yeah, I've learned about it.
Yeah.
You're not telling me anything I haven't learned. Okay. But if you're not able to tap in and you're still living in indecision, you're not able to really get going on what your destiny is here.
Yeah.
Because your soul has a destiny for you.
Yeah.
And it can't deliver it for you when you spend time in indecision.
Right.
Yeah. How does all that sound, resonate?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, sitting in indecision or confusion or indulgence is people, if you don't make a decision, or if you don't get in touch, or just whatever, you can stay there for years and nothing changes. And then you wonder why it hasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just ask, is that an option for you?
No, obviously, this is why I'm on this call.
Yeah. Well, we have to get really, my coaching is very like straight to the point. We're going to get to it. Yeah. So Danielle knows it's not an option, but what we're doing is we're communicating to your highest self.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not an option, right? No,
Yeah.
it's not an option. You
No.
want to go and give these people a retreat. They're going to be like, wow, whatever Diana is selling next, I have to be a part of that. It blew my mind.
Yeah.
And you can't do that if you're in indecision energy up until that, through it, right? You can't do that for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you think you can move forward with learning to feel into your sacral?
I think, like you said, trying to ask myself and not allowing myself to say, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then just saying, but if you did know, or, what's
what
the
I
worst
want to
that can
do?
happen? Yeah.
I want to take you to your body.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So what I want to do is I want you to just kind of sit back and take a couple of deep breaths, maybe close your eyes, like put your hand on your heart or on your belly, wherever you feel like, okay, I don't know if you meditate or not, but this is something I do to just go, okay, wait, I want to get out of my head. I want to move down into my body because my body has the answers that I need. And I'm just going to kind of guide you through some questions, and we're going to go from there. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I want you to take a couple of deep breaths. And I want you to imagine the energy that is your sacral. I want you to imagine this center as the burning battery that is always on and always looking to get you exactly where you need to go. What does it feel like?
Like warmth in the back of my like L5 area.
Okay, so lumbar warmth. Okay. Now, rate that warmth on a scale of 1 to 10. Where does it sit? 10 is like, wow, it's on fire. 1 is like, it's barely there.
Probably like a 6.
Okay. It's pretty warm then, huh?
Yes.
Where does it radiate out to?
I don't feel it radiating. I feel it just staying right there.
Okay. Now, I'd like for you to ask it to turn up to a 8. Just imagine on a dial, it's sitting at 6. There's the warmth at 6. Can you ask it to turn it up to an 8? And you can say it out loud or you can say it in your head, but let me know when you're there.
Okay. I asked it in my head.
Okay. Are you feeling any shifts?
Yeah, kind of like it's radiating a little bit more, maybe uh just like towards the buttocks on both sides, spreading.
Okay. Beautiful. I want you to thank it for showing up and responding to you. I want you to acknowledge that there is a sacral force looking to get your attention and it's listening to your direction. And now I want you to turn it up to a 10 and let me know when you're there.
Okay, I'm there.
Beautiful. Now, what does that feel like? Can you describe it to me?
Yeah, it just feels like it radiates all around from probably like T12 to, all the way to the legs now.
Beautiful. So again, I want you to acknowledge the sacral for showing up strong for you today. And I want you to ask the sacral to continue to show up as you become super intentional on connecting with it every morning. Okay. So when you're ready, you can tell the sacral, all right, thank you. That's enough for now. Can you just lie at 6 for me right now? And then I want you to come back in to connecting with me.
Okay.
Okay. So that was beautiful. So your sacral's there and ready to rock when you're ready to listen, right? When you're ready to tune in. It's beautiful that you have the medical lingo because you're like, I know exactly where that is,
Yeah.
you know exactly where it is. Now your nervous system knows what that feels like. And you will feel it more and more and more. And it will even be in different degrees. Like, oh, maybe that feels a little different than it felt when I was doing this on the podcast. And, but now you're paying attention and now you're aware.
Wow, I had never felt it like that.
Yeah. And what I want you to do now with these decisions is I want you to, and I don't know if you have anybody who can like ask you something. Sometimes it works like this and we can do a different way too. But what I used to do was just ask my daughter, because my daughter has like no vested interest in my answer at all. In fact, she's like, why are you bothering me? I don't even care.
Yeah.
I would just ask her to be like, okay, can you ask me, do I want Mexican or Italian, right, for dinner? She would give me something to respond to, in other words.
Yeah.
But what I learned about this responding energy we carry is you can respond to anything that comes in visually, that comes in throat frequency. Somebody says something that comes in divine download, a thought. That is something to respond to. And then what you want to do is you want to just kind of sit back and do your little centering, because it won't always take as long as it did for us.
Sure.
And it didn't even take long, right? We're still on this 30-minute call, but you'd want to just tap into, okay, sacral, what is it? And you want to give that fire, that warmth that you were feeling, kind of a, okay, this is my indication for yes. So I know when you show up in this way, it's a yes for me to move forward. I'm excited. I'm enthusiastic about moving forward. And pretty soon it'll become a pull. Like, oh, I'm just going this way. And I don't want you to allow your mind to come in and go, yeah, but what if somebody, or yeah, but what about that client over there? Like, I want to make sure everybody's included. That's just routine thoughts that your mind has it's just neural pathways are there that have done that. So it's just noise. You just, as you do this and ignore that, you just start becoming really aware of, oh, nope. And it gets easier and easier and easier. And the sacral shows up for you like that. Now, a no, or like a not right now, is just that warmth is less than a 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, what I learned was like, it's a no, but I kind of want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? Why can't I go do it?
Yeah.
And what I was told, my higher self told me, we know what is in store for you, and we're saving your energy for what is in store for you.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're generators. We like to go do all the things.
Yes.
So it'll be a little bit of a trial and error process for you, because you're learning to trust your higher self. You're learning to trust that your sacral is actually leading you to exactly what it is that you want.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just the process of doing that. And you will mess up sometimes, and that's okay. But just look at the overall trend of most of the day today. I followed my sacral, and here I am at the end of the day. And as you're doing this every day, then at the end of the week, you're evaluating, oh, how did the sacral really work for me? You're going to see, I didn't waste a lot of time. I didn't waste a lot of energy. I actually feel invigorated. And that fear of burnout is going away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because of course you're going to fear burnout. Of course you are. When you don't even know how to trust your energy to take you where it is you so desperately want to go.
Yeah.
Was that helpful?
Oh, yes. Very helpful.
Good. Good. Yeah. I mean, we found a decision for you pretty quickly. How do you feel about that decision?
Yeah, I'm very happy with that decision. I'm not second guessing it. Like, it feels right. It feels like I'm taking care of them, but I'm taking care of me at the same time. And I'm not, feeling like, oh, I chose me over them, or I chose them over me, or all that stuff that the brain wants to go into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of this is just allowing yourself to take a moment, a couple of times a day, to move back into your body and tune into that sacral energy for yourself, because it's always there working for you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very useful tool that I haven't tapped into at all.
Yeah. And that is your major tool in your design. And that's going to change a lot for you. So what we do after these calls is I follow up with you, and I want your feedback. Like, I want to know how it's going with your sacral. If there's been any changes, what you're noticing about your energy, because you're going to notice you're going to have a lot more of it. And I want you we send an email out, like, I think it's 4 or 5 days after these calls, and just hit reply and let me know how you're doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being on, Diana. It was nice meeting you.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.